What's up, everybody? Neil McDevitt here, and in this video I want to break down for you exactly what I've been doing to grow my business. So currently, if you're not aware, I basically have a small community. It's small at the moment. I have 426 members, and a lot of them are around $17 per month. Many of them are around $7 per month, and some of them are in there for free. I started the community completely free until I had people in there. Then I had a valuable product. Then I raised it to $7 per month. Then I soon raised it to $17 per month. And now it is making me enough money to sustain my life. This is a very, very new community. I was growing it via YouTube on the YouTube platform. I don't know why my screen looks like that. It's all over here. Interesting. Anyways, I was growing it on the YouTube platform. Obviously, I have a channel. It is still relatively new. We have some videos talking about artificial intelligence and other things and everything that is happening in the world right now. And it's kind of a channel to help people adapt with the changes of technology, understand what's happening in the business world as technology changes. And it's a high level view of the world and kind of explaining my world model and creating valuable content based off of that. So obviously it's still pretty new. Everything is new. The community is new. The channel is new. But in this video, I want to talk about everything I've done so far leading up to this point and how I plan on moving forward so that maybe you guys can have some insights from that. So none of this is just like theoretical. These are things that I'm actually doing. I've actually built previous businesses to this in the past. I had a marketing agency, then I pivoted to kind of a consulting company, and I've had clients making upwards of millions of dollars per year, and I've spent millions of dollars on advertising in the past with my previous businesses. Now I am building this one with artificial intelligence first. Like, this big thing, AI, is coming. It's going to change the world. This shouldn't be news to anybody by now. And basically, I'm asking myself, what is the business model I can start today that is going to likely last through this revolution? Because I think we can actually answer that question. I know a lot of people right now are saying, well, nobody knows what's going to happen on the other side of this. And I do think that is correct for a lot of different things, but I do think if we ask ourselves, what are the fundamental pillars of human nature that will never change, even if we do have gene editing or we do have gene therapies or whatever AI is going to bring, even if we do have these things, there are still constants in the universe. And if we can use those constants as basically a string leading through a dark hall where we can't see through the hall, but we have this string that we can hold on to and we can go through the hall, we're going to be better off than anybody else because we are the only ones who have found the string. Now, I do think a lot of business models are going to change. If you're not already aware, I've talked about this on my other channel. Basically, the question we all need to be asking ourselves is, when every single person has a computer at an individual level that can do all economically valuable tasks any human can do, what is there left for humans to buy? And that's what I'm going to be talking about in this video and on this entire channel. Specifically, what am I building so that you guys can have some insights from that. So, as I mentioned, I have been building this community and I have been growing this YouTube channel for about 1 year. Maybe a little bit less than that, but roughly about 1 year. And basically, the entire goal up to this point was to build skills, avoid the things that I shouldn't be doing, and just stick to the plan. That's really as big as the game is, right? Is I stick to the plan and I move forward. There's a lot of people in the world right now that are like jumping from trend to trend to trend. Like, I've came from the marketing space. I've been watching people in the marketing space just jump from this trend to this trend to this trend, and they're just hopping on whatever's popping at the time. And I do think they're probably going to make some money like that, but they're never going to build anything that really lasts. They're not going to build that next level. You never really get there if you're just jumping from trend to trend. So instead of going trend to trend, I've been trying to be very principled in my way of thinking, my way of operating as an entrepreneur. And basically what I want to share with you is how I'm thinking about everything that's happening and how I'm building. Now, obviously, I'm pretty young. I still have a lot to learn. But from the mentors that I've had, I've spent tens of thousands, upwards of $60,000 on mentorship, and just have spent a lot of time wasting my own money on business and then actually making returns on my own money on business. These are kind of like all of the learnings that I've had and how I see things going on and what I'm actually taking action on. That being said, let's just actually jump in. So the current thing that I've been doing for the past year is really understanding what is happening in the world right now. Because if you're not aware, the world is changing. The first thing I've been doing is I've been building a lot of skills. I have been working on building a coherent world model. This has been something that I've been working on since I was probably 17, actually. Improving systems thinking abilities. This has also been something I've been working on for a very long time. Learning more about human behavior. This has been something I've also been working on for a very long time. Learning more about product design. This is something that is brand new for me. I've never really had to design products. I've never really built anything with technology, but now with artificial intelligence, pretty much anybody can build relatively sophisticated apps. Not if you're a complete noob, you have to learn a little bit, but if you stick to it for 1 week, I promise you can do it. It's that easy now. Previously, you would have to go spend 4 years, get a degree, and then maybe you could build something relatively simple. Now you can build something relatively complex after weeks or months. It's pretty insane. And again, AI isn't slowing down, it's only accelerating. That being said, I've also been spending a lot of time learning physics. This is also something brand new that I've been doing. And you might be asking, well, Neil, why the hell would you learn physics? We're here to make money. We're here to build businesses. Well, the only rules of the game are the laws of physics. Everything else is just a recommendation, as Elon Musk would say. So I have actually been trying to dive as deep as possible into physics and really learn what are the rules to this game that we're playing. What is physically possible? Because I do think AI is going to extend our capabilities to a drastic degree, and it's going to help us as entrepreneurs to know what are the boundaries. Like, where can I not go so that I know where I can go, right? Then I've been studying some math. I haven't gone super deep in math, just kind of like getting my brain working in a statistician's way. Statistics and information theory and understanding those types of things is very, 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 very valuable right now. Again, this isn't something that everybody's going to want to do. I don't think everybody even needs to do it. This is something that I have been doing to try to make myself more valuable as an entrepreneur and to understand the world better. Next, I've been learning a little bit about computer science, just literally the basics, like the 101 type of computer science stuff. And pretty much, yeah, the super basics. I think the most important thing people are going to need to learn is like information theory, which, I mean, it's somewhat complex, but you don't need to know like the details. Physics and a little bit of computer science, and then mainly like hardware. And you're going to be like, again, you're going to be like, Neil, why the hell are you talking about these things? And it's because we're going to a technological future. Like, you have to understand these things where we're going. You can't just not get it. You need to have a type of, or a certain level of understanding on these types of things if you're really going to want to compete in the future. Okay? Then I've been studying about civilization, history, and technology, and just kind of like been looking at the history of all of these different things. Things I am completely avoiding: short form content, consuming and producing. I think short form content is a complete waste of time, whether you're consuming it or producing it, specifically because I think, well, one, it makes your attention mechanisms fucked as a user, and if you're a producer, it's just not going to be a viable thing long term. I think AI is going to pass the short form content Turing test very soon, and it's just kind of a waste of time to make it. That's my point of view. If you have a different one, do whatever you want. Things I'm definitely not doing is building an agency. Again, the question we need to ask ourselves is, when every single individual has a computer at an individual level, what is there left for humans to buy? I think that kind of answers that question. You're not going to need to buy any services from any other individuals, because whenever you have a computer that can do those things, that is the last service. Like, OpenAI is developing the final form of a service online. You don't need services beyond that. So that means the service-based business model collapses into a community itself. Okay? And then you'll have products branching out from that community. Next is chasing trends. This is what I see so many people doing. I have friends from like the marketing space, if you're watching this, hello, that are chasing trends. And they're doing things that aren't viable long term. And they're just kind of like going from thing to thing. The reason, I mean, previously this was an okay model. You could actually pull it off and it worked. I don't think it's going to work very soon because things are moving so fast and they're accelerating. Whenever things start to move faster and faster, you're going to have to jump from trend to trend to trend to trend until one day you're just kind of like, it's not possible to keep up by using that approach. You're going to have to, instead of reskilling and retrending up all the time, you're going to just have to, okay, let's make a very long-term bet and go for it and put all of your chips there. Focus relentlessly on that and make a long-term bet, believe in it, and just do it. That's where we're going. You have to have a beautiful vision for the future. It doesn't have to be beautiful. Any type of semi-coherent vision for the future doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be directionally correct. Articulate that vision and go for it. That's where we're going. Jumping from trend to trend, I think it's going to work maybe from here to the next 1, maybe 2 years. Beyond that, I am very doubtful. If you haven't seen, I'm going to put a YouTube video in the somewhere around here, maybe in the description. I recommend to watch this YouTube video if you don't know what's happening in technology right now, because you're not going to be able to jump from trend to trend. It's just going to leave you behind. Okay? And then next, I'm not doing things that don't last. That kind of fits into the chasing of trends, okay? So one of the key concepts is the idea guy. The age of the idea guy is here. Currently, or previously, it's been very hard for the idea guy to make waves in the world because you have to be a technologist to make waves in the world. Now, we are currently at a point where it's like 50-50. Like, you need to understand a little bit about technology, but you can be an idea guy and make waves. Very soon, it's going to be like the level of understanding of technology. I mean, you're going to have some just to understand like the high level, but the AI is just going to be like saturating the rest of it. Like, what is AI really? It's kind of like the democratization of technology. It just makes technology very user-friendly. You just kind of talk to this natural language interface, and it does any arbitrarily sophisticated thing on a computer or within any technological place. That's kind of what AI is, and it allows people like us, I'm kind of the idea guy, or I have been previously and historically, it allows people like me to do a lot more, okay? Next is principles. What principles am I building off of? What are the things that I am following, and how am I thinking about building? So first, I think users over profit, and then profit over revenue. Why users over profit? Well, it's very simple. I'm trying to think of the best way to articulate this clearly. Brian Johnson, a little bit of a lisp there. Brian Johnson, whether you like the dude or not, he is kind of a genius, right? So here's a story that he told that was kind of how I've been thinking. He said he saw this revolution happening, he saw AIs coming, and he realized it's going to impact longevity or the health span of the human a lot. Why? Because all of technology, every time we have gone through a technological revolution, whether it's just as simple as electricity or we actually start to develop some medicines, as we go through technological revolutions, the human lifespan literally like jumps. It's probable that that's going to happen again. It's very probable that we're going to live to like 150 or more because of the technological revolution of AI, quantum computing, biotechnology, and other things. Brian Johnson saw this happening, and he says, what is the best way I can have an impact here? Well, you can either try to start a company to try to accelerate the timeline, bring the future into the present, or you can try to gather the awareness of individuals, pull a bunch of attention, and now you have this attention that you can literally wield, and you can spread the awareness and shift the Overton window of these ideas, and then you have leverage, because now you have many people starting these companies instead of just you yourself. Instead of just you starting that company, you now have hundreds of people potentially starting the companies that would pull that future into reality. That's kind of the premise here. Users over profit, profit over revenue. Users are the most valuable thing ever. If you own the attention of humans, you own the fabric of reality itself. Okay? Community-centric products last. That's the second principle. If you have a community-centric product, you're going to last through the revolution of AI. You will not replace the congregation of humans. It's not going to happen. If that happens, we end up in an extremely dystopian future and nothing matters anyways. So technology-first products always win. I think this is pretty obvious. The technology-first products have always won. And right now, it's becoming very easy to build a technology-first product. So that means you have to have one. It's not an option anymore. You can't just have a product without technology. I do think they will exist. I think they're going to be very, very, very hyper competitive. Even the technology products are going to become very, very hyper competitive. But if you don't have one, it's just going to be so hard to compete because there's going to be people doing exactly what you do, but also innovating on technology with AI. That's starting right now. Like, I'm already building technology and I'm not a technologist. I understand just a little bit, just enough to actually use the tools to build it. And that's it. And that's all I need. And the amount I need to know is becoming less and less over time. So that's where we're going. Next is value alignment is the new moat. So what does that really mean? Well, the community that you build, the values that you have, the user pool that you have, the technology that you're building, all of this can be aligned with a particular set of values, right? And the type of values that you have is kind of the moat that you have moving into the future. There's many different examples of this. There's like Elon and the X platform and SpaceX, and there's Sam Altman and WorldCoin and OpenAI. Like, the values are very different there. And those are their own moats that they have, their own respective moats based off of the value alignment of the users, of the community, of the technology products. That's kind of where we're going, is you need to have that type of moats, a value type of moats, which means we're going to enter a political type of future, it seems like. Everything's going to be a little politicized, which it's already starting to happen, you could probably see. And then eventually it'll probably like go back into a less politicized era. But that's where we are today. Anyways, let's jump into the actual video here, or the actual sauce, the actual diagram, and the actual strategy. We just kind of covered like the principles, the ideas of like what to be focusing on. Let's dive into the real diagram here with the real strategy, what I'm actually doing, so that you can have some insights from that. So for my main channel, it's this one that I've been showing you with my astronaut here and the American flag logo, whatever. I have basically just been documenting the journey of me learning about AI, right? I have been sharing a lot of the information that I've learned. I've just been kind of like consuming a bunch of information, distilling it, digesting it, and then repurposing it in my own fashion. And I've just been kind of going through my journey and sharing it openly. That's kind of what this channel has been about. And now we're getting to the point where it's starting to grow. Like, it's been 1 day and 3 hours, and this video has 3.7 thousand views. It's still brand new. Like, it's still rookie numbers, but that's not too bad, right? That's 3,000 people, or almost 4,000 people in a day that are watching my things, and they are leaving feedback, right? So we have 90% of the likes. We have 126 likes. We have 69 comments, and things are moving. And then we also have a community with 426 members, and it's making a little bit of money. Not too much yet, but this is where we start to get into this stuff. I plan on having this community be pretty big. I plan on having a bunch of different products around the community and a bunch of different things. And I'll explain what those things are in just a bit. But what I've been doing so far is I've been basically testing with a bunch of things on this one channel, this personal channel of mine, where for a while it was just kind of me like talking about what I'm learning and digesting information for myself and building an audience based off of that. And then I kind of went towards purely like business type of content in the age of AI and talking about what is happening to like the business models of the world and how I see that playing out because of everything that I learned about AI and everything that I knew about business previously. And then I kind of went into like similar type of content to that, but it was a little bit more, I don't even know how to explain it. It was kind of like talking about the potentials for centralization of AI and how that's not going to be good for humanity. And then now it's kind of like, okay, I've tested a few different angles. The goal of this channel is simply to cast a very broad net. I wanted to test out a few different things, see what really works, but I know I need to cast a very broad net here. And from the data that I've collected through testing out different types of content, different types of videos, I have found out that it's best for me on this channel to kind of explain a vision of the future that I have and kind of share like how I see things playing out at a big picture level, and talk about a few different things and kind of like my opinions on things, and kind of share the high level broad aspect. But I want to make the information as digestible as possible so that my audience is very broad and it grows pretty large. That's the goal. That's why I can get like, that's not a lot of viewers really, but like having this many viewers within 1 day and 3 hours isn't the worst, especially for a relatively new channel. And this will continue to grow. And the goal is to get this to be a channel that's like 100,000 view or 100,000 subscribers or more one day. And that's this channel. This channel is going to be the business channel. I really don't care how many subscribers this one gets. It's purely to make videos like this. And then the goal is to pass people back and forth between these channels. This is the trust building mechanism. This is the awareness building mechanism. Pretty much this is the engine, is these two channels, and I might start a third one day, but we're not there right now. There's like the high level channel and then the business micro level channel of like actionable stuff, right? This one's like high level analysis. This one's like, let's implement. And there's a particular reason I'm doing it this way. So again, casting broad net, and then having actionable stuff so that we can funnel people from the personal channel to the business channel and vice versa, so that I can build trust, establish rapport, show that I'm an authority in a few different vectors, a few different ways, whether it's business or technology or whatever, and kind of build relationships at scale is kind of one of the ways you can think about it. And it's a pretty powerful mechanism. And it's also very fun. I actually really, really enjoy doing it. If literally everything else down here could be completely automated and I was only making the content up here, I'd be a pretty happy camper. And I do plan on getting to that level of automation one day here. Not exactly sure when. We'll continue to scale and see how it goes, but that's the goal, right? So I think you could probably see the pretty clear vision for this part now. The goal here is to have this broad net and have this business like application level net and then feed all of this down into the products. So the first product is the community product. This is what I'm building right here. That's where I have my members. And that's where I kind of have the stuff that I'm building right now. Now, all of this is changing. It currently says United States of Acceleration. There's like a dude colonizing the moon right here. That's going to be changing. I'm building one called Eon City. I'm actually building my own community platform, and other people will be able to build similar things on it as well. So I'm pretty excited for it. Keep a lookout for that. But that being said, I'm building this community platform, and there will be other products attached to that. There will be a multitude of different ways for me to monetize the audience that I'm building based off of that. Now, again, the goal isn't specifically profit. While the goal is profit, the main goal is to have users that are value aligned and really like the vision that we want for the future. I think all of us, like literally everybody in the platform, I hate to use the term users because it's really just like members and believers of the future that we want to build. Having those members is going to be very powerful. And having people who are all on board with the vision of the future that we want is going to be a very, very powerful thing to have. And I think it's going to be the future of how business is built. Is you're kind of like becoming a form of a reality engineer where you're kind of like collecting attention and then you're allocating resources together, and it's going to be pretty weird compared to business today. Let's put it that way. But we're going to save that for a different time. For now, let's keep diving into this. So the community product, and then you kind of have your niche products around your community. So for me, I like AI and I like business. That's like the things that I have experience in. I have a lot of experience in business. I have a lot of experience in artificial intelligence, or not a lot in artificial intelligence, but I have more than most people in AI and technology. And I really understand what's happening is the big thing, and I can articulate it to people who don't. Um, and then from there, I mean, that's kind of what my community is. And then I can create a product ecosystem around that community. And I think that's kind of how business will be moving forward into the future. Now, for certain types or certain other people, maybe you are into fitness or maybe you're into basket weaving. And literally, it can be literally anything, whatever you're into. Or maybe you're just into science fiction. It doesn't matter. Whatever you're into, you can talk about those things. You can have like the high level personal channel, and then you can have a more narrow channel where you're talking about the specific types of things that you do at like a physical level, not like a high level where you're just kind of explaining high leverage topics. This is kind of like the broad high level topics, and then this is like the actual implementation topics. So for example, for fitness, for example, you could have your fitness channel where it's kind of like more personal and you're just kind of like going through and doing workouts. And then this one's more of like a tutorials channel. So somebody who's good at this is Mike Isertel, Dr. Mike Isertel. He has his Renaissance periodization channel, and then he has his Mike Isertel talks about random things channel. That's a very good model, and he filters people back and forth. And his Renaissance periodization channel is his main business, and that's where he kind of makes a lot of his money. He has different products. I don't see him running any ads because he has such an engine up here. Like, he has millions of subscribers on both channels where he doesn't even need to run these retargeting ads. But depending on the product that he has and the way he wants to grow things, if he ran these retargeting ads, he could probably like 5x his business overnight, to be honest with you. Because the cool thing that you can do is you can actually track the people that land on your first product and then across all of the platforms, retarget them. Now, I'm not a big fan of short form content, as I said, but I think retargeting ads in the form of short form content are going to be pretty potent. I don't know if that's going to play out. I don't know how long it'll play out for, but maybe we'll have to do long form retargeting ads. I'm not exactly sure. If so, that's completely fine. But I have a feeling that retargeting ads, no matter what form they're in, they're going to be pretty effective just because the advertising platforms are becoming pretty good. Let's put it that way. The AI revolution is helping them too. But this is kind of like the high level. So that's kind of what I wanted to share in this video is the high level, like what I've been doing, how I've been thinking about things, high level, like what is the strategy. And from here forward, we're going to dive into more like micro level and like stuff that you can implement today. If you're if you're a complete beginner, or if you're somebody who is just getting started, or if you're somebody who even has a little bit of experience, mainly what we're going to be talking about is in the next video, how you can actually start something like this, because I think it's very important. Obviously, technology is accelerating a lot. The world is changing. Labor disruption could easily happen at any time right now. And having an asset like this is going to be really, really valuable for literally anybody, whether you are just starting or you're somebody who already has a business and you're just not sure what is happening in the world right now and you're not very confident in where your business is currently positioned and how you should be adapting. I recommend to watch more of this channel, subscribe, and also watch my other channel. It'll be linked in the description below. That being said, I'm going to end it here. If you have any further questions, leave a comment below. I'll be happy to answer them in the next videos.